Silver, also known as Silver Luna 2112. They're on Ravelry. I just wanted to say a very quick thank you to all new viewers. Thank you for all giving Thank you to all for giving me a shot. A welcome back to all of my returning viewers. A wonderful hiya to the few viewers who subscribed to my YouTube channel over the past little bit. You have no idea how much those email notifications meant to me this week. It's kind of been an interesting one. Anyway, I really do appreciate it. Trust me, I do. It is actually Monday, June 26th. So, all of my returning viewers know that this is actually a little bit irregular for me. Um, I'm actually recording a few days later, or as you will, a few days earlier than I normally do. I'm sorry about that. I could easily say that last week I was just trying to get more stuff done before I come back again, but that wouldn't be entirely truthful. Um, I ended up celebrating the summer solstice, which was last Wednesday, here in the northern hemisphere, just pretty much by sleeping off my mother's Father's Day hours at work and just pretty much hiding from the world. Um, if you're new to the podcast, let me just explain that last sentence a bit. I actually work in a call center where I basically take orders and process complaints the whole time when I'm there. And during our holiday hours, we're there quite a bit, so tempers are high and things like that. It does get a bit rough during the holiday hours, and it can just be way too negative for me to handle on a personal level, especially by the end. I'm not really an introvert, but it does feel like it sometimes for like a full week afterward. I tend to need some antisocial knitting and not talking time, as I normally call it. MTI is pretty good about just kind of ignoring that and kind of ignoring me during that time frame and just waiting until I talk to him again, kind of thing. But anyway, enough belly aching. You actually did not come by to hear me talk about real life or work. So I bet you want to know a little bit more about what I've been up to with my knitting. So grab your drink of choice, your crafting, and away we go. I predicted it's gonna be a little bit shorter show than last time, but we'll see how it goes, right? Uh, Today's drink is actually Pepsi, believe it or not. Since it is close to 8 o'clock here on the East Coast, I think it's a little. I don't need my coffee right now. Like, and for me to say that, I've had a few cups, if you couldn't tell. Let's go on to my favorite things. Yes, the first thing I'm going to mention, I have awesome coworkers. Um, especially on a Saturday where I realized, oh yes, I never actually got pictured that Titanic pose I showed you guys. Or I was going to tell you, I was going to actually have taken for you so you can kind of see the whole of the shawl. I have awesome coworkers, especially in particular Jess. Hiya, Jess. I have to say a big thank you for this pose, especially since it's a semi awkward photo to take, especially in the middle of the call center. So, a big thank you to you again for doing that for me. You have no idea how much I can't say thank you enough. I really can't. I doubt she sees the podcast, but she at least got a notification that I was mentioning to her, right? Anyway, another of my favorite things, it's actually my brother is actually in from California this week. I cannot wait to see him. He got in earlier today, got a text message from my mom saying, "Hey, he's here. He's here." Well, technically it was a photo, but anyway, um, this is actually part of the reason why I'm recording early. He's leaving Thursday, so I'm trying to get a lot of visiting time in with him. And he was coming in today. Holla. All right, so the next thing that I actually do really like is I have this new geeky shirt that I wanted to talk to you guys about. It says, Legends don't die, they regenerate. Basically, I wanted something to mark the end of Peter Capaldi's reign as the Doctor and the beginning of the next Doctor's reign, whoever that may be. I am like with the rest of the world, I'm still waiting with bated breath to find out who the next doctor is going to be. Come on, BBC, please just put us out of our misery and announce who's going to be the next doctor. Please. As a special favor to me? Yeah, so anyway, that's enough about that, right? Let's go on to my finished objects. Yeah. So about that whole 2017 washcloth goal that I had, I only finished one this week, since the last time we talked, actually. Got about that far and stopped. Nope. So the worst podcaster award goes to this girl this week. You can't see it, but I just pointed at myself. Anyway, but yeah, so at least I got one done, right? Yeah, I got 4 days now to finish up. How many? Math was never my strong suit. Anyway, the next thing that I did finish this week was what I'm calling Bella Coffee. And as you know, it is the Coffee Date by CC Almond. The three colorways that I used are all Plucky Knitter, three different colorways. The first one is on the Bellow base, the Putty in My Hand. The second one was on the single base, which is the Give a Hoot. And the last one was on the Primo Fingering base, which is called Enchantment, which is the green or the mint color that you see. This is actually was made for another one of my coworkers who's still out on maternity leave. So yay me! I finished it before she comes back. Um, the next thing that I did finish this week, actually the last thing I finished this week was my Christmas tree shop socks. Wow. Whoa, say that 10 times fast, right? The pattern was Cece's Vanilla Cappuccino Socks, also by Cece Almond. I was using a single knit sock blank by Gail's Art in the Christmas tree colorway. Oh, I love how it came out, guys. I still have a lot left over. I think I could make some shorty socks with what I have left over. Hmm. Have to see. We'll have to see. Anyway, I used a size US 2 9-inch circulars for the body of the items, for the socks, sorry, and on two 16-inch circulars for the toes. And for the cuff, I actually went down to a size 1 DPN, so that way it just cinched it in a little bit. I don't know if you can kind of see it from there, but I love how they came out. Ah, super adorbs. I cannot wait to wear them in the fall. For right now, they are staying in my new sock drawer. Yeah, I cleaned out, so I have a sock drawer, y'all. Color me organized. Ugh, let me take a quick sip. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's move on to works in progress. So you all know I have an issue just staying with one item or another. Um, this week was no different. I honestly can't seem to stop flitting between my projects. It's been kind of a color war going on this past week and a half. I was trying to do as many different projects as I possibly can in multiple colors whenever I got bored with one. Here, let me show you a picture of what I mean. I actually did take a picture of all of my works in progress together. Do you guys see that? That's not even like a quarter of what's on my needles at any one given time, but those are the current ones that I've been working on this week, especially. And now, what's in the pile, you may ask? Well, the first one up is the Where Are You Leading Me, Mario? Where You Lead, I Will Follow, or what I'm calling that. It is the Where You Lead, I Will Follow by CC Almond. The socks. And I'm using a Inner Yarns and the Old Muddy River Bridge knit-a-thon. That was the first sock. And then the cuff and the bulk of the second sock is the No Makers Fancy Gnome in the Stars Hollow colorway. Oh, I love the genius of this pattern. It looks so simple, but it's such a genius pattern. I love the way she does this, y'all. The needles I'm using for this one are a size US 2 16-inch circulars and also a US 1 for the ribbing as well. I am using my Supernatural bag, which I absolutely adore. It's so super cute and it fits in my purse. People at work have actually been saying, "Where did you get it?" And I was like, "I don't even know how long ago Slip Stitch Studios had that on their website. I'd have to look. Sorry, y'all. Just not with it, I guess, huh?" The second thing that I've been working on, actually, and I'm working on right now, a bulk of my knitting time actually went to this particular shawl today. I'm on the ribbing sections at the very end of this, and I'm calling this one Brainy Dance. The name of the pattern is the Yowza Weight Shawl number 3 by Susan B. Anderson. Sorry, my allergies just seem to kick in right as I'm recording, huh? Anyway, I'm using a skein of Yowza by Miss Babs called Zombie Prom. I absolutely love these colors, you guys. I'm so glad I got a picture of it before the sun went down earlier. I'm using a size US 8 40-inch Chaigu needles, and the bag that I'm using is the Knitter and Cat bag that the Knit Girls had in their 7-year Podiversary kits. Oh, I still love the bag, y'all. I really do. I'm gonna try to get like another project in it as soon as I finish with this one because I am that close. Excuse me. The next thing that I have been working on quite a bit as well. This one is I'm calling Good Old Glory. It is the Grandma's Favorite Dishcloth by Ruth Slate. Well, it is as sorry, wow, words. It's about 155 stitches total. I'm actually on the decrease rows as we speak. Where you see that stitch marker, it's a Sucre Miniatures. It's the s'more that I got a couple weeks ago that I said I would show off and I never did. Ha! There you go. I'm using a color of the Red Heart Team Spirit colorway. It's red, white, and blue. Uh, Hence the old glory there. Anyway, I'm using a size US 6 30-inch marbles needles. And it's kind of not in a bag at all right now. It's kind of just sitting there and kind of freestyling it. So yay! I'll eventually get it into a bag, I promise. It's just kind of like having it hang out in the skein right there. The other thing that I have been working on, I am calling Lintilla the Hun. This shawl is the Lintilla by Martina Bem. I'm using Wool Mice Pure and Zavril, I think is how you pronounce it, spelled Xaverl. I'm using a size US 3 47-inch Knitter's Pride Dreams circular needles. I am, I'd say I'm on the edging. I've got about 5 or 6 humps left to go, maybe a little bit more. So it's getting there. I wanted to have finished it, obviously, but I guess I didn't quite get there. Anyway, the bag I'm using is the Exploding TARDIS bag. Oh, I absolutely love this bag, y'all. It needs to be like every project needs to be in there at least once, right? Anyway, the last item that I have actually been working on is the what I'm calling Morticia's Bat Wings. This is the Yowza Weight Shawl number 2 by Susan B. Anderson. I'm using also another Yowza skein by Miss Babs called Morticia. Love Love the colors, guys. That picture and every picture I think I've taken of it does not do the colorway justice. It's got some grays and some dark and light grays and some whites and it is definitely the character of Morticia, y'all. This shawl is actually being knit on a size US 9 40-inch circular or Chaigu circular, sorry. And it's actually being housed in the large canvas bag that also came in the Knit Girl set 7-year podcast kit or podiversary kit. Wow. It's pretty awesome. You can see it in the picture. I'm just going to stare at it a second. All right. I do have a newish category that I want to talk about. I haven't in a while. Um, Obviously, needle adjacent stuff. Stuff that I want to eventually be working on. There's a lot of things I could be putting in this category. I'm just going to settle on two because they are the ones that I'm going to probably be starting relatively soonish. I have promised myself I do need to wait a little while and finish a couple more projects. More specifically, I want to finish the Good Old Glory and the shawl that I'm currently working on, the Weight Shawl number three. But I do have I want to make another weight shawl too, for a work friend who saw the other one that I made and decided they wanted one that was exactly like it, but in blue. I don't mind whatsoever. I can't wait to get started. I just, I need to get the yarn and also I want to finish a few more things first for Stash Dash. So wish me luck with delaying that gratification, right? I can feel the startitis coming on, y'all, but I'm trying to be good. Another thing I want to start is another Mother's Day KAL shawl by JL Frankenstein. I will link the shawl directly in the podcast notes, for another gift coming up as well. I know the yarn I want to use, and I'm going to use some blue beads to it as well. And like I mentioned, I want to get a few other things done, before I start it. Even if I'm going to be putting myself more on, more of a tight but deadline than I already am. But I think the recipient is completely worth that stress on on my end, but it'll work. um, but yeah, let me take a quick drink. I'm getting parched, y'all. So a lot of my normal time that I would be knitting, I have been doing actually a lot more reading this week than I have in weeks past. Like I said, hiding from the world, that's where I go. And so I'm going to list off a lot of them. I've been reading mostly two authors since we last parted. Let's try using that one first, huh? Gotcha. All right, so I finished a total of 10 books since the last time we talked. The first one was the Navy SEALs Email Order Bride. There was the Marines Email Order Bride, and basically that whole series, which also included the Navy SEALs Christmas Bride, as well as the Airmen's Email Order Bride, all by Cora Senton. Oh my goodness, guys, I loved that series. I pretty much consumed that within 4 days. um, that hardly ever happens where I just sit there and I want to read all day, and that's kind of what happened. Um, there was another series also that isn't really complete by Cora Zetton. She's got a couple more books left of the series, and I can't wait until they get released. She's released two of them this year and one last year. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called the Issue to the Bride series. The first one is called One Navy SEAL. The second one is One Airman, and then the other one is One Sniper. The other two are sort of being advertised, but not really. If that's, yeah, I'm not making any sense. That's fine. The other book that I read that's not really part of a series is called A Seal's Chance, also by Coral Senton. Cora Senton. Wow. Cora, not Coral. Anyway, I also was listening to two audiobooks by Debbie Macomber, part of the Cabot Cove, or not Cabot Cove, Cedar Cove books series. The first one was a Six Rainier Court, and the second one I finished about 12:30 this morning. It's called number 74 Seaside Avenue. I did start on number 8, Sandpiper Way, which is in that same series, also by Debbie Macomber. I'm currently listening to that now. And I spent a good portion of the morning, this morning, actually reading through a book called Death and Relaxation, which is by Devin Monk. This was actually a recommendation by Lala, actually, of the Knit Girls. It sounded so good, and she had me at They talk about knitting in the third book of the series. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. And so, as you do, you always have to start at the beginning of a series, y'all. And that's how I roll. All right. So, what you watching, Silver? Quite a bit actually. Let me just take a quick drink because I'm getting parched. Mm. Okay, so I did watch a little bit more of Smallville these past couple weeks. I'm actually up to season 5, episode 3. I pretty much consumed all of season 4 in like 3 days, I think, last week. Whoops. I'm also watched an episode of Dead Files, basically one episode while I was eating dinner before I started recording. Also been catching myself up on Doctor Who episodes and rewatching them several times just to kind of see what I see in them. All right. So now that I'm all caught up, I think the only thing that I really want to say is Missy is being her usual mastery self. I don't know what's going to happen in this storyline, but I just can't wait to see what they do with the remaining episodes of the season. All right. So, if you haven't seen Saturday's episode, you may want to skip ahead until I take down the spoilers picture. You gone? Okay. So, this past week, Missy meeting the Master, I'm still confused what I think about that. Several times I've watched the episode and I'm still confused. But Bill being the first iteration of the Cyberman, what? I have to admit, I sat through the first watch through Sunday completely enthralled. After the end of the episode, I sat with my fingers stapled and steepled rather, sorry. And my jaw just dropped down for at least 10 minutes after I finished watching the episode. I mean, I talked MTI's ear off with the regards to the basics of the episode, but I still don't think I quite know what's going to happen next week. There's no real indication as to who the new doctor is, but I think they're really just leaving it open ended. Meh. I'll just watch and see. LOL. Oh, I'm laughing out loud so much I even said LOL. Oi. All right, y'all. It's safe to come back. You back? Welcome back, everyone. Okay, let's move on to the movies I watched this week. I have, like I said, you're gonna see me watching Beauty and the Beast at least a couple more times, and then probably once a year, like till the rest of my life, I think. I also watched The Legend of Tarzan with Alexander Skarsgård in it. It was pretty good. It was an okay storyline and some eye candy. With that combination, you can't go wrong, right? Um, I've also been keeping up and trying to catch up actually with a lot of podcasts. These past couple weeks, I've watched both of the Nick Girls full episodes, and they also had a bunch of mini episodes. I watched every single one of them pretty much within hours of them popping online. I'm kind of crazy that way. I have no real intention of ever spinning, but I love watching them talk about spinning and fiber and oh, it's amazing. Even if you don't have any concept of what makes a good fleece and how to clean fleece and you just kind of want to watch the pretty happen, those are some videos you should watch. I recommend it highly. I'll pause now. Go ahead, go watch. I won't be mad. But come back eventually. Anyway, um, I also watched Innocent. I also watched the full episodes of the Stockinette Zombies. Yeah, so they did make sure to put out a full episode before their retreat, which is ZK or Nick Apocalypse 2017. Wow. I'm just tripping on my words. Anyway, Megan's new book is now out for pre-order, and she does talk about it this week. Gives a little bit details of the different patterns that they have going on in the book and what it was like to go ahead and be involved in that whole process. And I was like, wow. But yeah, so pre-orders for the book are now up on knitcahoots.com. I'm going to put the link below as well as in the podcast notes. So come on by and grab yourself a copy if you have not already. Megan and Corey are both designer geniuses. I'll be reviewing the book in full as soon as I get my own copy. The patterns I've seen so far on the podcast and the website are they look absolutely genius, guys. So congratulations on your book, baby ladies, as Megan puts it, as you do. The Yarn Hoarder also made a really quick episode just announcing her winter episodes before packing up and heading up to ZK 2017. Mind you, with Megan's books. I love that they're friends, and I love watching those two episodes. So pretty much back to back. It was amazing. I also watched a couple episodes of Round the Twist. Karen, also another podcast, is awesome. She's got two young kids, and so a lot of her knitting time is eaten up by those little rascals. But it's still fun to hear about her life and her knitting as well. So guys, if you don't watch her, you gotta go watch her. She's got a few episodes under her belt right now. She's one episode away from the big 300. So congratulations, Karen. If you ever watch this, I don't know if you will, but congratulations on getting the big 300. I also watched a couple episodes of the Geeky Girls Knit. If you hadn't heard or you don't follow them, they actually are a transplant from Texas to and then they headed over to Edinburgh, Scotland. They have since moved back to the States, so their last episode from there was a little bittersweet. Um, I'm not going to go into too much details because that'll bring everyone down, but I really do kind of wish them well on the next leg of their journey, regardless of where they end up. um, the next thing that I caught up with was the Stitching the High Notes podcast. Opera Joe. She is such a sweetheart. And I can't stop watching her episode. And she had a new one that just came out maybe like half an hour before I started recording. So I think I'm going to be watching that as soon as I finish the editing tonight. I cannot wait to get started, y'all. I also watched The Grocery Girls. Always a hoot to watch the two of them. Always a hoot. I recommend it. And also the mother-daughter the mother daughters combo of the Knit the Books ladies. Oh, they talk about knitting and books. What more can I say? They're just awesome that way. I'm also listening to all of the Knitmore Girls early episodes. I just finished 68 right before I started recording. I'm going to try to binge listen to up to about 100 or so before I record again. So wish me luck. Um, yeah. So other than all the podcasts, TV, and movies, I have been watching a lot of YouTube. I get sucked into one video. I've actually gotten stuck watching the winners of The Voice, some other voice videos, as well as a lot of magician and funny people videos from like America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent. But it was mostly like random stuff, that stuff that comes up. Oh, you're watching an episode of something that you subscribe to. Well, here's something that sort of corresponds with it, and then I follow that down the rabbit hole. You know how that goes. um, but most of that random stuff, I'm not really gonna point out anything in particular, but I just wanted to let you know and be completely honest. I follow the rabbit hole. Go down the rabbit hole quite hard. See, I could use either one. Anyway, that's another argument for another day. So I'm pretty social. You can actually find me on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland podcast. I am actually Silver Luna 2112 there on Ravelry. Silver's Dreamland can be found at www.silversdreamland. Let's try that again. It's at www.facebook.com/silversdreamland. On Instagram, I am both Silver's Treats and Silver's Dreamland. If you need to reach me right away, the first account that I log into really quickly tends to be Silver's Treats. So on Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, please feel free to email me directly at silversdreamlandpodcast@gmail.com. So I have actually rambled for long enough. I know that your time is valuable. Just please feel free to join in any discussion, or you can even start your own on the Ravelry board. I don't bite, I promise. Just please stay tuned for episode 28 on the 5th. Until next time, happy crafting, everyone.